A glamour model has said she feels vindicated after a Polish man who claimed her kidnap was staged to boost her career was convicted of the crime. Lukasz Herba, 30, had claimed 20-year-old Chloe Ayling agreed to be kidnapped as part of a publicity stunt. Her agent, Adrian Sington, said she felt vindicated by the verdict. This has been an incredible burden on her shoulders for the last year in the face of media criticism of her motivation, and this is vindication. Her story is true. It means now she can get on with her life. It's hard if you're being painted in the press as a liar, and now she's able to say, I know it's a bizarre story but it's a true one. One of the difficulties with a psychopath and a narcissist, as Mr. Herba is that he behaves in such a way that it's almost impossible to believe that someone could be so stupid, and so, in some ways, it's not surprising that the media found Chloe's story difficult to believe. Let's not forget she was bundled into a suitcase, injected with ketamine in the boot of a car, and thought she was going to die. Speaking from Milan, her lawyer Francesco Pes said she is relieved and very happy about the verdict. We all are. Many people called her a liar. She does not want to be the victim. She has been fed up with people saying she was doing it for money. I do not know of any money that could compensate for this ordeal. These pictures were emailed to her agent and used to advertise her for sale on the dark web. +9. These pictures were emailed to her agent and used to advertise her for sale on the dark web. She is not interested in money or compensation at the moment. She just wants people to believe her. He added that Herba's claim to be in love with Ms. Ayling was a sign he was obsessive and that there is no evidence suggesting she had colluded with him. He added there are no messages, no emails or Facebook saying that she was in on this. There is nothing to support the claim that she was an accomplice to her own kidnapping. There never was. There is no logical explanation for a person prepared to risk 25 years in jail in exchange for an undisclosed amount of money. When asked about video footage of Ms. Ayling and Herba appearing to hold hands, Mr. Pes said the model was doing what Herba told her to. That did make people speak. However, she was trying to make him happy and not get him cross because he told her, if you are good I will release you. But she was not happy with what she was doing. Why is she not a believable witness to her kidnapping? Mr. Pes said that Ms. Ayling had not appeared in court today as she did not want to see Herba. Prosecutor said Ms. Ayling was drugged and kidnapped after she showed up at a Milan address for a modeling job, then held for 6 days at a farmhouse in the neighbouring Piedmont region before being released at the British consulate in Milan. Prosecutor Paolo Strari said in closing arguments that he based sentence on the possibility that 20-year-old Chloe Ayling could have died during the July 11 to 17, 2017 kidnapping. He said she was drugged with ketamine, which knocked her out, then closed up inside a canvas bag and transported to a farmhouse, where she was handcuffed to the furniture for at least the first night. In a declaration defendants are allowed to make in an Italian court before a verdict is delivered, Herba said he was in love with Ayling, and they had concocted the kidnap plot to help her overcome financial difficulties after the birth of her son. I never hurt the girl. I was not violent with her, Herba said. If she felt forced verbally in any way, I am very sorry. But it certainly was not as Chloe has described. I was in love and I was hoping that once her fame took off that she would repay me with feelings and we would share the money, he said. According to prosecutors, Ayling was lured to Milan with the promise of a modeling gig and then drugged when she showed up at a mocked-up photographic studio. She was zipped inside a canvas pack and transported to a secluded farmhouse in neighbouring Piedmont. There she was held for 6 days before Herba released her at the British consulate in Milan. In his initial statement to police, he said he did so out of sympathy for the fact she was a mother. Ayling told investigators that she never tried to escape, even when she accompanied Herba into a store to buy shoes, because she was terrified, believing his threats that he was part of a bigger criminal gang that had eyes on her constantly. She said she had been told she would be auctioned online since she was not able to come up with a £300,265,000 ransom. She said Herba showed her photos of other girls who were being sold over the deep web. But in a shifting storyline, Herba also testified previously that he had concocted the alleged deep web criminal group Black Death, and that his brother was helping him in the scheme agreed by Ayling. Italian prosecutors are seeking the brother's extradition from Britain. Herba said he didn't tell police that Ayling was in on the scheme during his initial statements because he believed she would come forward. During closing arguments, his lawyer, Katia Kolakowska, cited an email she received from a U.S. film producer who pointed out that Ayling's story closely matches the plot of a movie titled By Any Means, that was released about 8 weeks before the 2017 kidnapping. Strari, in his closing arguments, noted that Herba had invested at least €10,000 £8,800 in the kidnapping, taking into account real estate rentals and travel. He said it was unrealistic that Herba would have done so only to get ransom from a young woman without any means. The prosecutor also cited Herba's purchase of 2 ski masks, which Chloe said she saw kidnappers wearing when she was freed from the canvas bag, and the exchange of a note with his brother telling him to clean the trunk of the car well to make sure that there were no traces of her hair.